What's going on, guys? Jacob over here. So, probably the biggest non-highlight video I've ever made on this channel. Aaron Rodgers today on Pat McAfee about an hour ago confirmed that he intends to play for the New York Jets next season once the Jets and the Packers figure out trade compensation between the two franchises. And Aaron Rodgers officially, not officially, but officially is not going to be a Green Bay Packer anymore for the first time in 18 years. And that's a sobering reality to take in. It really is. Even though that I've been expecting this to happen for at least the last couple of weeks or so, it's still something that, you kind of take a step back. And, for people who don't watch sports, it might seem silly, but, when a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers plays for your team, I would call him the best Packers quarterback ever, arguably the best Packers player ever. And, one day that just ceases. That's like a constant in your life, The Packers with Aaron Rodgers, and in every fall, the Packers are good. They compete for championships. And it's been going on ever since I was 5 years old. I mean, he was drafted in 2005. I was 5 years old. Not quite old enough to understand football. That came a few years later once he became the starter. That was the first season I really, truly loved watching football, started watching football. Yeah. And, if any of you have known me personally or follow me on Twitter, you know that my opinion on this matter was that I kind of wanted them to move on from Rodgers because I was ready for the new era to start. I want to see Jordan Love get his shot. But that doesn't mean that, that it's not still painful to, see the guy that you grew up watching play football, who made you fall in love with the sport of football, just, not playing for your team anymore. And I guess the silver lining here is that I still will get to see Aaron Rodgers play football, just for a different team. And certainly I'm going to root for him. I'm going to root for him. I'm going to hope that he does well. I plan on uploading the highlights of the season next year. And I really hope that he does well. And if he wins an MVP, if he wins a Super Bowl, awesome. And even if that happens, I want to make it clear, I would not regret wanting the Packers to trade him either, because, I truly believe that it's time for a new era. And the Jets, they're in a position where they are ready to compete for a championship, and they need that one missing piece, and that one missing piece could be Aaron Rodgers. The Packers aren't in that situation anymore. They were the past couple of seasons, ready to compete for a championship. I don't see that anymore. I see the Packers right now, their situation is building for the future, acquiring young assets. Certainly, I don't think that means the Packers are going to be necessarily bad next year or not. They could be good. They could be very bad. They could be very good. They could make the playoffs. They could make a postseason run. Who knows? But, the NFL is weird like that. Sometimes you'll just have, a bunch of young guys and things will click one year, and, you'll make a run, and then people will get expectations really high for the next year, and it's a very unpredictable thing that happens. But as of right now, the Packers see themselves in a different position than what the Jets are. So if Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets and winning a Super Bowl would not make me, envious or anything. I'd be very happy for Aaron Rodgers getting a second Super Bowl, and hopefully that would solidify him for other people as a top 5 quarterback of all time. For me personally, he's already a top 5 quarterback of all time, and if we want to talk about who is, the greatest thrower of the football ever, I would argue very strongly for Aaron Rodgers. But again, I think it was time for both sides to move on. And Aaron Rodgers said in his interview that he got that sense from the Packers, and even he himself wasn't really decided on his future, but he came out of the darkness retreat feeling that something had changed, and then he made up his mind that, if they want to trade me, I'm going to play for the team that they trade me to. So, and he was very adamant, about not expressing any ill will or resentment. Not quite sure if I totally believe that from him. I know that he's a guy who really doesn't want to, call out the front office or anything. He tries to, walk on eggshells a lot on that topic. But I definitely think there's a part of him, that's coming back because he wants to say, screw you, I can still play. Just like Brett Favre, I know that there's still a part of him in there that played a factor into his decision. But, I mean, both teams had different directions they want to go in, and certainly, um, I think it was the best for both sides. Um, but yeah, I mean, looking at his resume as a Packer, 59,000 yards, 475 touchdowns, um, 4 MVPs, 4 All-Pros, 10 Pro Bowls, Super Bowl MVP. I mean, undoubtedly he will get his number retired, and whatever game that happens, I hope to be in attendance for that. I would say it's probably going to happen the moment he officially retires from the NFL, whether that be next year, the year after that, I don't know. Who knows? But whatever, the soonest possible time for that to happen, they are going to retire his number as number 12, and I'm certain he will go into the Hall of Fame as a Packer as well. Certainly the Packers Hall of Fame. But yeah, I'm going to be there for that. I've made up my mind. I'm going to be there for his jersey retirement for sure, and maybe even his Hall of Fame enshrinement in Canton as well. I've been to Canton. It's a pretty awesome town. You should go if you love football. It's really cool. But yeah, end of an era. And speaking of the next era of Packers football, I am very, very excited for Jordan Love. And I know that there has been a pretty divided fan opinion about Jordan Love, especially closer to like when he was drafted. I think a lot of fans have been warmed up to the idea of Love being, the franchise's starting quarterback as of late. But, Jordan Love, I remember the video I made when we first drafted him. I was, one of those Packer fans who was like, I can't believe we didn't draft a receiver. And, I'm definitely not of that opinion anymore. In fact, I think that the whole receiver argument is kind of, whatever. Like, maybe it would have helped, but I don't really think that those Packers teams of the last few years were really a receiver away from the Super Bowl. I think they just kind of failed in those spots that they were given a chance to get there. And back to Jordan Love, though, I'm just so excited to see it, and I've never experienced this really as a true Packers fan, transitioning from one quarterback to the next, changing the era. This is going to be such an interesting offseason to follow, and such an interesting season next year to follow, whether or not we're good or bad. So I'm really, really interested to see how it all plays out. I mean, it's going to be really fun. It's going to be fun watching Jordan Love develop. I know Aaron Rodgers himself has said that Jordan Love's going to be a great player. The Packers certainly have a ton of confidence in him. It was, I'm pretty sure Matt LaFleur was very influential in the decision to take Jordan Love, so this is like his guy. We've got some young pieces all over the team, especially on offense. Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, two very talented, young, promising wide receivers. This is going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch this team grow and mature, and I think we're in the process of creating the next core for the Packers that will compete for a championship. And I don't necessarily think that's going to be next year. I think it might be at the earliest 2024, 2020, 2025. But it's going to be exciting to watch. It's going to be exciting to experience. And, it's been so long since I've experienced, a feeling as a Packers fan of, okay, we're not going to compete for a championship this year, but it's still going to be interesting to see everybody develop and stuff. I don't think myself as a Packers fan has really ever experienced a season like that. So this is going to be a new experience for me and for a lot of Packers fans my age. But it is what it is, and I can't wait to get started on the Jordan Love era, and I certainly wish the best for Aaron Rodgers going forward in New York. Certainly going to be watching a lot of New York Jets games next year and rooting for his success. So, anyways, guys, that's all I got to say in this video. It's probably going to take a lot of people different ways to process their emotion, different amounts of time to process their emotion. Certainly me, I'm probably going to take some time and reflect a little bit. Even though I've kind of been expecting this coming, it still is, shot to the chest. It's Aaron Rodgers. And even though I wanted this to happen, it's still something that it's like, wow, I can't believe he's gone. Can't believe he's not a Packer no more. So, anyways, guys, though, thanks for watching. Thank you all so much for watching. I've really enjoyed, this channel, doing stuff on this channel, especially related to Aaron Rodgers. I know there's a ton of fans of Aaron Rodgers in particular that follow this channel, and I certainly hope that you guys stick around as well for my Packers content. And, of course, like I said, I'll still be making Aaron Rodgers highlight videos even if he's not a Packer. So, with that being said, I'll see you guys next time, and go Pack Go.